I am Renee Elmers. I am a registered nurse. This is my husband, Dr. Brent Elmers. He's a general surgeon. We practice in Dunn, North Carolina. And we joined up with Dallas. We went to a healthcare rally a couple of weeks ago, and we are so concerned about this healthcare plan going through and what it is going to do to healthcare and to our nation as a whole, that we got on board. And when I say on board, I mean literally on board. On Thursday, my husband spoke a couple of times, and then I jumped on the bus with Dallas, and I've been going around. I am not paid or anything. I'm just here because I am very concerned, and I want to speak about the healthcare profession, because there are some misconceptions out there. Our leaders have said things like the healthcare system, doctors and nurses, are overwhelmingly in favor of this healthcare plan. Are there any doctors, nurses, dentists, anything out there? Raise your hand, because I think we all agree that no, we are not necessarily on board with this. And my message today for you is talk to your doctors, talk to your nurses. When you go to the office, they're not going to necessarily bring it up with you, okay? Because you are there to get your health care, and they're there to provide it. And regardless of whether you are against this Obamacare plan or whether you are for it, you are going to get the same excellent health care. And that's not an issue they're necessarily going to talk to you about. But if you bring it up with them, you will see that they are very concerned about it. And that is that. I know Dallas has asked you to do some things, and that's the one thing that I would like to ask you. And now I'm going to let my husband talk.
Thanks, Renee. Is she great or what? Thank y'all for coming out today. It is hotter than you know what out here. You know, Dallas asked me to come out and talk a couple weeks ago here in Raleigh when the president was in Raleigh. And let me tell you, a lot of you people may have been down there at the North Raleigh Hilton, but this is even huger than that was, and that was a big rally. And I want to thank all you guys for being out here today. You know, the thing about this whole takeover of the healthcare system that bothers me more than anything is that America has got the best healthcare system in the whole world. We don't need to mess with it. People come from all over the world to get their care here. We hear about Canadians that come to the United States. We hear about, and we all know about Mexicans that come here just mainly for the health care. And people come from Europe just to get their health care here. When you hear about some really novel thing that needs to be done, they're not going to Italy to get it done. They're coming to the United States because this is the best health care in the world. Now, the government's decided that they want to take this over. They can do it better. That's what they say about everything. But I don't know of too many government plans the government can work better than we can. That's right. There are problems in that plan. There are a lot of problems in that plan. And you hear about, Renee touched on that doctors aren't really for this thing. Well, let me tell you, they're really not. You know, they came out with a statement that the AMA was for this. Well, let me tell you, the AMA represents maybe about 25% of doctors at most, and even probably half of those that are belonging to the AMA don't even agree with them. So the AMA is not speaking for the doctors on this thing. Problems that are in this plan include access to doctors. Everybody is for access to physicians and improving the access to doctors. I had a little email back and forth with Congressman Etheridge, and that's his number one thing, is increasing the access to physicians. Well, this plan is going to destroy that. It's not going to improve it. In this plan, they plan to take over residency training programs for physicians. They want to decide how many people are trained in each specialty, who is trained in each specialty, where they're trained, and where they go work afterwards. That is going to limit access to physicians everywhere. They've got plans in there to cut reimbursements to doctors and to hospitals. Well, you're going to see hospitals close. You're going to see physicians stop taking the government plan. Okay? You're going to see them stop taking the Medicare and Medicaid patients as well, because they can't afford to do it. So what's that going to do? It's going to decrease the access. It's going to limit access to physicians, not improve it. The other thing is they're going to decide, they want to decide what kind of care you get, what you get, when you get it, who gives it to you. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's nothing more than a Washington bureaucrat in my exam room, and I don't want a Washington bureaucrat in my exam room. You know, the plan's got all these great ideas in it, but you know, it doesn't have any real meaningful reforms. The Congressional Budget Office has already told us that. It's still going to leave 20 million people behind uninsured. It's not going to be care for everybody. But it's lacking the meaningful reforms that we need to have. Malpractice tort reform is a huge reform. It needs to go through. You'll hear about insurance reforms, and you'll hear about tax incentives and tax reforms. Those are the things we need in these plans, not a government takeover of our healthcare system. We don't need a total overhaul. We need to fix some of the problems. We don't need a total overhaul of the best healthcare system in the world. I want to finish up with one thing I saw on the news the other night. One of the liberal media commentators made a comment that this was going to have to go through, and it's going to go through whether we want it to or not, because we don't know what's good for us. Well, let me tell you something. I'm a doctor. I know what's good for us, and this ain't it.